Hello, my name is Timothy LeGendre. I'm a CPA here in Florida. I'm kind of starting a series or a playlist or just taking a second to kind of explain bookkeeping services here on my website. Might be up on YouTube too, but I'm not really trying to become a YouTube guru or another talking head and, the sea of noise out there. I'm just really trying to explain and and kind of share a lot of the knowledge and experience that I have. I have over 20,000 hours of experience in financials, profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow, pro formas, quality of earning reports, modeling, valuation, EBITDA worksheets, compilations, reviews, and so on and so forth. And then specifically over the last 5 years, I've had a lot of experience and time in, a lot of small businesses and their financials and in the tax realm, being able to do a tax return, tax strategy and planning off their financials, financials for mortgages and loans and credit lines, business purposes, like buying or selling a business. So I do have a lot of experience. So I just thought I would kind of, create a little playlists or a series of videos kind of going over a lot of different things that I've seen, share my experience, maybe give you some tips and tricks, but also explain, what I do and what I offer here at my business. And yeah, I've seen, I don't know how many sets of books or done how many businesses and tax returns over the, just the last 5 years alone. And one big thing is, that I'm going to talk about in several of my videos is QuickBooks. I'm not a QuickBooks hater. I just strongly dislike QuickBooks. I strongly dislike what they push on people, what they sell, what it's kind of done to the accounting industry, what it's done to bookkeepers, what it's kind of propagated as. And it's just, so there'll be several probably videos on that. It'll be mixed into a lot I do. I don't really hate Intuit or anything like that. I don't hate anybody. I just have a dislike for QuickBooks and what it's kind of done to the industry. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, again, my name is Timothy LeGendre. I'm a CPA. When you work with me, and hire on my business, you do work with me. I don't have, an offshore team in the Philippines doing your books. I do your books on my own software. So that's one thing I was going to talk about as well. We'll make some videos on. I have created my own bookkeeping software, mainly after, doing 5 years of QuickBooks and seeing people's financials. There's never been a clean set of books. There's always mistakes. There's always, something wrong with the books. And then even the people that pay people $75,000 a year to do their QuickBooks still don't know QuickBooks. I've seen people being paid, $500 a week to handle QuickBooks and payroll inside QuickBooks. And, it's not right at the end of the year, and there's still a lot of adjustments that have to be made on the tax return, and then the tax return costs more money because of that, and yet you're paying this person, a lot of money to do your books, and they're not even done right. So, and I've even been to blame in that at the beginning. I've spent hours and hours trying to do one thing in QuickBooks, and so one thing we'll talk about in some videos is that I've built my own software. I have a lot of different connections and integrations. Stripe, Gusto, Plaid, which has 13,000 institutions. I can bring in your auto loan, your mortgage, your line of credit. I can do a lot of different things in my books. Mercury Bank is a big one. I'm a partner with Mercury Bank, partner with Gusto. I have Stripe, like I said. I'm also working on like Ramp, working on some other banks as well. But most of the banks hook up through Plaid anyway. But I have a lot of things that I've done to be able to actually do proper books and records in an efficient and scalable way. Because what I've noticed is that the people that call themselves bookkeepers, they can do a certain amount of clients, but the amount of time that it takes to do stuff on QuickBooks, since it's not that great of an accounting platform, it just doesn't allow them to scale. So these videos are going to be kind of across the board. Maybe you do yourself, your own books in your small business. Maybe you've hired someone to do your books and they're doing QuickBooks. Maybe you are a bookkeeper that's out there that's trying to get better. So I just... this is my bookkeeping services page, so it will all be geared to, me, of course, doing your books if you're a small business owner. I handle books anywhere from startup pre-revenue all the way up to a couple $1 million. It depends on the industry. I've done all industries, contractors, single-family homes, building contractors, screen enclosure contractors, deck builder contractors, outdoor landscapers, outdoor design, lawn maintenance, HVAC, all different types of, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, roofing, restaurants, retail, online retail, in-person retail, medical practices, different medical practices, lawyers, different lawyer professions, insurance brokers, ticket salesmen, and just private investigators, like online social media. I've done a lot of different things. And, a lot of times you'll hear people say, to be niche, that's the way to do it. But my niche is financials, and I handle a lot of different industries. There are some that I focus on. There's some that I don't touch anymore. But by doing, real estate agents and property managers and lawyers and all across the board, it's helped me be more rounded and be a better accountant. So there's things that I can use between industries to make me better, to help serve you better. So that's a lot of what I've done. I don't know why exactly I do enjoy financials and books and records, but that is what I really enjoy. So I really do it for the intrinsic value, the really, intrinsic reward. Of course, we don't live off of air, so I do charge, of course, but I really get a lot of satisfaction out of helping someone get their books and records right, understand their numbers, teaching them things about bookkeeping, teaching them about accounting, teaching them about financial reports, and just, including them in on their financials and what's going on in their financial life. I don't really do like financial planning or investment planning or things like that. I can tell you to invest, to save, to, pay down debt, but I can't tell you to go buy XYZ as an investment. And then mainly, I focus on this because it is my passion. I do tax returns. Everything that I do is geared towards being ready for tax at any point in time, because I've seen a lot of people that, will do their books and have no idea when it comes tax time what's going on or why their books are a mess, or, they thought that, they weren't going to show any income because their book showed a loss, but actually they had all their distributions and stuff coded as an expense. So it wasn't a loss. So they are paying tax. So I will mention tax here and there, but this kind of series and playlist or whatever will be focused on my bookkeeping services and be talking about bookkeeping and accounting. And then lastly, because I am in business to sell bookkeeping and my software and my accounting, I will mention that, I do a flat hourly rate. There's no like lawyer model where you're always on the clock. I don't do any fees. I don't like junk fees. I don't like setup fees, cleanup fees, catch-up fees, wire fees. I don't like it where, if it's really sunny out today and I wake up and I'm having a good day and I decide to charge a little bit extra, like that isn't what I do. Pricing starts out at $500. It includes my software. It includes me doing the books, everything for tax basis. And there'll be several videos going in on, exactly what's included on that. So stay out for those, look out for those. And then, like I said, a lot of different videos coming. I have such a, depth of knowledge and a lot of things that I've been doing over the last couple of years that I have a lot to talk about, but I don't really have a pure direction that I'm really going to go in. I'm just going to be trying to share a lot of things that I've learned, a lot of things I've seen, try to make it informational, try to have something that you could take away from each video. But, if you have any questions, go ahead and send me an email, tim@timcpa.com, or you can go onto my website or type in this link. It is for my pricing calculator. And then on my pricing calculator, there's a way to get basically a free quote for different things that I offer: business advisory, tax prep and planning, bookkeeping, etc. And then it's not like a newsletter or any type of like spam or you're signed up for anything. I don't do that. I don't send out emails. Unless you're a client. So it's just basically showing you a quote. And then, I usually follow up by, asking you if you want to talk about it and seeing if we can, work together, because I'm not for everybody. And that's the thing that, I'm going to get across is that I'm a unique individual, and so are you, and so is your business. So I work really, really well with some people, and there's some people that I don't, and we don't match. And, if you're someone that doesn't have any desire to do things, at least in some kind of structured way, have a business bank account instead of doing everything out of just one personal bank account. If you want to have 20 bank accounts and checking and savings and credit cards and 10 different credit lines and 15 different car loans, and you have no idea what all of them is, and you want me to come along and try to clean up your QuickBooks for $400, we're not going to work out. That isn't what I do. That isn't what I offer. I offer, clean books and records that are strategized for tax planning and compliance and strategy, and then are always ready for, if you need loans or to talk to a lender and stuff like that. Like, you always know your numbers and stuff. And I do focus on making sure that they are accurate, categorized, reconciled, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, again, that's just who I am, what I'm about. This is what the playlist will be about. I made this video too long, but I'm going to try to keep each video at some, reasonably digestible kind of segment or, length. I know in today's world, it's very hard to pay attention for longer than about 3 seconds. So, but I'm just not going to get into the TikTok world and the reels and the shorts. And, I'm not really going to try to play the social media game. A lot of people would probably tell me I'm doing the wrong thing by, not trying to do that, but I'm just trying to, take a wealth of knowledge of, thousands and thousands of dollars of experience, being a licensed real estate agent, being a licensed mortgage originator, being a licensed CPA, reading over, 1,050 books, having 5 degrees, being all that stuff, and just try to, help people. And I get value out of that if I can help people in their business, in their life, in their finances. And, at the end of the day, when you realize what I can offer, I'm hoping to, bring a lot of people on to doing my bookkeeping and doing my accounting and, build my business. I'm not going to be shameful in saying that. That is what I am trying to do. But I'm also trying to, give people education and stuff as well. So, again, very long video now, but I don't know how to make things short. So I'll try my best. But I appreciate you visiting my website, clicking on the videos, watching, if you landed on YouTube, watching me and stuff like that. And stick around, and hopefully I can give you some good content. I appreciate it. Thank you.